Hey y'all, today I'm going to show you how to make an alpaca dryer ball. So alpaca dryer balls, some of you may have heard of wool dryer balls. It's basically you take the fleece, or it's called the fiber of the alpaca, and you compress it and roll it to make a uniform ball of, it's actually felted because you use friction, hot water, cold water, and soap. And today I'm going to show you how to make an alpaca dryer ball. These alpaca dryer balls are anti-inflammatory. I'm sorry, they're non-flammable is the correct word. Non-flammable, they last forever, hypoallergenic, and they're softer. You put them in your laundry and it helps with static, and it helps you'll never have to use those toxic dryer sheets with all that chemical fragrance ever again, like with the endocrine-disrupting, hormone-disrupting, anyways, chemicals. So what I do is I put a wad of fleece, I wrap it really tight, and I put it in this is pantyhose. I cut the pantyhose, this is just the bottom of it, and I try to keep it, so you see it's gonna shrink down a lot. This much fiber will come to a ball about that size. So what I do is I start off with really hot water, and I get it wet, and I just recently started using gloves. I watched all 5 videos on YouTube on how to make alpaca dryer balls, and they were all very different, and I tried a lot of the different ways, and let's just say I had a lot of trial and error, and I'm the only one that I know that uses gloves that I have seen so far. But I like these because they have the grippy things on them, so it adds extra friction and extra surface tension because I have really small hands. So this water, I couldn't even touch this with my bare hands. It's super, super hot. What I'm doing right now is I'm just squeezing it, getting it all fully saturated. And this is raw alpaca fiber. So it is straight from the alpaca, and it's not washed or carded or anything. I try to use, so the blanket is like the best part. That's the part on the saddle that is the most valuable. It's the softest. But the seconds and thirds is the fiber that comes from the neck and the legs, and it's you can't really spin it into yarn. So, but you can make dryer balls with it. So now that I've got it fully saturated, I'm gonna try to twist it a little bit just to help with the ball shape. And then I use soap, dish soap. You can use whatever kind you want. This is Ajax. There's not really a specific brand. I know I like to use the Blue Dawn. This was just cheap at Walmart. And then you want to start rubbing as much as you can, trying to keep that ball shape. So you're rubbing, squeezing, and you see all that? Ew, that's all the dirt and sand that's inside the dryer ball. And some people will wash their fiber before they do these. Some people will card it before. That works great for them. I don't have a ton of time. I've got spinning a lot of plates, so this was a shortcut method that I do, and I'm rinsing it out again and squeezing and squeezing and squeezing, all the while trying to maintain that ball shape. Okay, that was hot water I used again. And now, you don't want to felt it too much inside the pantyhose, otherwise it'll start felting inside your pantyhose, like getting stuck to it. So now I'm going to take it out, the pantyhose to the side, and I can see I'm going to have some little issues right here, but I can just cut that part off. So now it's like a big nasty hairball. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a ton more soap on it, and it's still pretty fragile at this point, so I have to be really careful not to squeeze it too much. I'm going to go ahead and get it super doused with soap, and I'm being really gentle. I'm not squeezing it a lot. I'm really just rubbing all around, friction and light pressure, and I'm almost like Play-Doh, because if you squeeze it too hard, it'll get bent out of shape. So I'm going to get that worked all in. I'll tell you what, this gives you quite a nice workout. When I first started making these a couple weeks ago, we just bought 4 alpacas. One of them's still getting bred. But I helped our sweet neighbors at Southern Grace Alpaca Farm. I helped them shear their alpacas, and they gifted me like a ton of the fiber, which I wasn't expecting, which was very, very sweet of them. So we sent several blankets, which is the middle part, off to the mill. Still waiting to hear back, and that was like 4 or 5 weeks ago. And we're hoping that fiber will get turned into yarn. There's different names for it. I'm still brand new at the alpaca industry, so, but basically yarn to knit like socks and blankets and stuff out of it. And then this fiber is all the seconds and thirds from the neck, from the arms, and from the legs. So now that it's fully soapified, how do you like that? I'm gonna switch my water on to cold. So I had it on burning hot, and now I'm gonna turn it on freezing cold and shock the fibers. And by shocking them, it'll help them contract and condense, and basically everything is gonna start forming this alpaca dryer ball. So I'm squeezing, also getting more of the dirt out. I'm squeezing, I'm rubbing, and that's gonna shock that fiber. The time it takes to make one of these, it really depends on the quality of the fiber you're using. And alpacas have what they call guard hairs, which most of the fiber is very soft and, you know, I don't want to say wool-like, because it's not wool, but really fluffy. And then some of the fiber, like some of these, for instance, they're guard hairs. It's more like human hair. It's stiff, and it does not felt very well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add more soap. And you can see I got a little tail there. I know that's a big old guard hair. So I'm going to go ahead and just snip that, and I'm not even using anything fancy. I'm just going to go ahead and snip a few of those, just because I know that's really not going to felt very well. So I like to do this early on, because if I wait to the very end, sometimes I get weird holes in them, and then I'm not proud of it, and then I don't want to sell it if it's not perfect. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. So I have a lot of dryer balls that are imperfect that I've kept for myself. But I don't want to sell something that's not perfect to the public. So I'm going to start there again, squeezing, and I'm making a huge mess, and it's really fun. And the awesome thing about this, I'm doing it right now during the kids' quiet time, so that's why it's peaceful. But normally I do it when they're awake, and the kids love to help me. I'll have the girls take turns, and this is super, if you're homeschooling or if you have toddlers, this is a great activity for them to do. It's like Play-Doh and sand and goo, and it gets that real, that sensory, it works on sensory, it works on motor skills, it works on muscles, all things that are very good for young kids, and it's super entertaining. Like, I don't let my kids watch TV. We actually only got a TV just a few years ago, and we only use it for like the occasional movie night, but my kids have never watched TV. They've actually only watched like 1 or 2 movies in their entire life. So we don't do a lot of electronics or media, that kind of thing. I'm on Facebook, obviously, with our homestead page and all that, but other than that, we really don't do a lot of that kind of thing. We do stuff with our hands, we do stuff on the farm. Oh, this is getting really nice. I was really hoping this one would turn out. So it's getting, I don't know if you can tell, it's getting smaller and more compact. And one thing I do, once I know that at least the outer layer is felted, I know I'm safe enough to stop. If I stop too early and there's like a section that's a little bit looser, it can come apart. But what I do before I sell my dryer balls, I always put them through my dryer several times, because that's one concern that people have is, oh, is it going to get all over my clothes? No. If it was, it would get all over my clothes first. So they're seasoned, I guess I could say. So this video is getting long, so I'm going to go ahead and end it. But I just wanted to show you this alpaca ball is pretty much done. I'm going to be making a couple of these today, and this video is, yeah, so this one, it took me less than 10 minutes to make. Now, it took me at least 10 minutes to pick out the fiber that I wanted. Some of the fiber had vegetative matter, like basically sticks in it and grass. So it took me a while to figure out which one I wanted, but basically, there you go. There's a really nice alpaca ball, and I will put this through the dryer at least 2 or 3 times before I sell it. And I got all different colors, and I can do different sizes. I sell them all for the same price because to me it doesn't really matter the size. Some people like bigger, some people like smaller. But there you have it, alpaca dryer balls. Very cool gift for Mother's Day. All right, thanks guys. God bless.